Okay, what is going on, everybody? RogersBase here, and welcome to my live reaction and review for One Piece manga chapter 1086, the final One Piece chapter for a month. In case you haven't already seen the news, Oda is going on a 5-week break. We will be back mid-July with more One Piece, but first off, I want to start the stream off by saying this. Don't worry about a thing. There will be content to satiate you guys on every Sunday through up until we get the next One Piece chapter. In case you missed it, the first episode of my new podcast debuted on Friday. That was a lot of fun. I was sitting down talking about a bunch of different news topics. Oda's break was, of course, one of those topics. Summer Games Fest. We talked about the Apple Vision. It was a lot of fun. So thank you to everybody who tuned in for that first episode. I am doing those now every Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific time. And then on Sunday, at the same time that we normally do our One Piece reaction next week, I will be streaming something else as well. Now that's to be determined depending on who I can actually get on the stream, because I'm basically between two different guests right now, but it's going to be a good time. I highly recommend you still checking in here Sunday next week. There will be something for you, and there's going to be other things sprinkled throughout the week too. We're still playing Tears of the Kingdom. We're still having a good time. So with all that being said, let me get started. Let me read One Piece 1086. It should be available on the app right now. It is. Here we go. 1086. It's not on Viz yet, but it is on Manga Plus. So I'm going to read it on Manga Plus. Here we go. One Piece 1086. This one is called The Five Elders, and we're kicking things off with a beautiful color spread. We've got the Straw Hats in this like rainbow pool. Chopper's got a hood and a little Den Den Mushi on the top. There's also like a little cat behind Chopper, which is real cute. It says no rain, no rainbow. You got Robin looking up, standing next to Brooke. What's Usopp running away from? Frankie? Why is he running away from Frankie? That's his Nakama. What's going on there? Then you've got Sanji running to the other side, Luffy jumping down, Nami. This is actually a really pretty color spread. Now that I'm looking at this right now, Nami's putting her umbrella down there. We've got a little frog who's handing a towel to Luffy or to Sanji or to Nami. I think maybe that's to Nami because it looks like Nami's looking down towards the frog, but either way, really pretty color spread. It'll be nice to see that. It says, based on a reader request, Chopper and a cat crossing a rainbow reflected in a puddle by Crazy Downey. All right. Well, here we go. 1086. Final chapter for a month. You know it's going to be good. It has to be good. Okay. And so the reverie came to a close, with the truth of King Cobra's murder kept under wraps. 1086, the Five Elders. You've got the shot of the castle at Marijoa. Okay. Tell me. So Igram. Okay. From Alabasta. Tell me, have you seen this girl? Has anyone seen Princess Vivi of Alabasta? Where is the king? He is ill and he needs help. We got Pell there as well, too. While on the ships taking the various royals home, a number of stowaways kept their heads low. And then you've got Vivi and Walpole obviously picking up right where we left off last chapter. Hey, which country's ship is this? It belongs to the Aegis Kingdom. It's Aegis's ship, Morgan's. Huh? Got it. We'll bring the office to the ship under the guise of reporting, and you need to slip under their noses to hop on board. I appreciate this. Hey, you're a king fleeing for his life, and that's big news. I still love the dynamic of Morgans and Vivi together. And then now after seeing what happened to Wapol last chapter too, I think Wapol and Vivi also being together is kind of cool too, considering all the stuff that happened on Drum Island. I like this group of three. I think it's pretty cool. Okay. I can't wait to dig into this. And you see all the news coups coming out of the top of the ship as well. And it says WE News. Okay. Well, what did you see, Wapol? I can't say. Least of all to you. Now go back to your own ship. Well, I can't. Those people were CP0, and if I go back to join the others, they'll just abduct me again. Still wild. Like, imagine telling ourselves 10 years ago that there would be a chapter in which Wapol saves Vivi from Cypherpole. Those words don't seem real, even as they're coming out of my mouth. They just don't seem real. Okay. Let me use that transponder snail. I need to get in touch with my father. He's a worrywart. Don't. Trust me, that's the last thing you want to do. Well, why do you say that? And meanwhile, you got Cypherpole still looking for Vivi. Is that Stelly? Is that Stelly looking at the Vivi poster for and then freaking out with the eyeballs popping out of his head? That Spandam too. Is that Spandam? holding up the Sabo photo. That's kind of cool. All right, meanwhile, on the Tajine Kingdom ship in the ship's hold, I'm so hungry, and obviously this is Bonnie, and then we eventually know where she ends up with Egghead Island, so here we go. Meanwhile, Sabo on the Lulusia ship. Once I get to Lulusia, things should work out. Lulusia Kingdom ship bilge. Okay, I do appreciate these one little panel spreads of Oda basically showing us, like, this is where Bonnie ended up. This is how she got in the ship before Egghead. This is where Sabo ended up before all the stuff that went down with him. This is where Vivi and Wapol ended up with Morgans. It's cool. It's a nice little way to wrap up this whole storyline. And meanwhile, Sabo's recounting his interaction with King Cobra, saying, "I'm counting on you, Sabo. You must survive." That was still such a wild chapter. Like, finding out that Vivi has the will of D, that Cobra has the will of D, potentially maybe even Sabo's going to have it. It's just awesome. Okay. Very soon, the news came out of the assassination of King Cobra of Alabasta and the disappearance of his daughter, Princess Vivi. Okay. You got all the ships in the port right there. Sacred Marijoa. And this Sabo fellow, another man who bears a checkered fate. No one has led a life more affected by the D. But I'd really like to be finished with this egghead business. You got peta, click. What is it? Oh, great, Emu. We're getting more Emu dialogue? Good. Chamber of Flowers, Pangea Castle. I wish to use Vegapunk's creation, the mother frame. Indeed, we will not know if it is real until it is tested. What? Perhaps the results of such a test might influence our handling of the egghead matter. A test on a forested land would do much better than an open sea. Lulusia Kingdom. And you've got the girl say, like, there's a lot of people over there. It's no matter. All right, very well. The world as is, the creator wills it. So why do you choose Lulusia? So Vegapunk created the weapon that destroyed Lulusia. So Vegapunk's that's not Uranus then. It's Vegapunk's creation. I was assuming that was Uranus. I thought that would be the final ancient weapon, and that it would be emus, and that he would wipe out the world with it. Vegapunk made it, and it's called the Mother Frame. Okay. So why do you choose Lulusia? It is close. Indeed. And you see the shot of the explosion? We shall take the necessary steps to make it... Okay, we're getting the names of all the Gorosei right now. Okay. We shall take the necessary steps to make it so. 5 elders, Godhead of Science and Defense, Saint J. Garcia Saturn. Okay. There are signs of rebellion in Lulusia's populace. 5 elders, Godhead of Environment, Saint Marcus Mars. I can't believe we're getting all their names right now. Then you have the Gorbachev-looking one saying it may serve as an example to others. 5 elders, Godhead of Justice, Saint Topman Warcury. Okay. Mars, Saturn, and Warcury instead of Mercury. I would have definitely assumed, based on like the naming framing of the other Gorosei and having throwbacks to other bands and things like that, I thought it would have been Saint Freddie Mercury. But I guess not. Saint Topman Warcury. Okay. Meanwhile, we have the Gandhi-looking one saying, if we can use its power freely, 5 elders, Godhead of Finance, Saint Ethan Barron V. Nusjuro. Okay, so he's got the Juro at his end of his name, so that pretty much all but guarantees that's going to be Zoro's opponent. I think we all kind of assumed that was going to be the case. That if the Straw Hats were going to fight the Gorosei eventually, Zoro would fight the one with the sword. That would make a lot of sense. But the Venus Juro thing, right away, says to me that is a future Zoro opponent. But I kind of like what they're changing up with the names in the later ones, too, with the V. Nus Juro instead of just Venus. Ethan Barron Venus Juro. Okay, and he's the god of finance. So we have science, environment, justice, finance, and then finally the last one, Sanji's dad. We can bring this ancient battle to its conclusion. 5 elders, Godhead of Agriculture, Saint Shepherd Jew Peter. Okay. Not Jupiter, but Jew Peter. All right. Okay. Agriculture, science, environment, justice, and finance. I wonder if that's going to have a connection to their double fruit powers as well that we saw. Interesting. Okay, let's continue. And Emu says, there is one other thing. Yes, I desire Vivi. And you have the other Gorosei responding back, it will be done. Da-na-na-na-na-na, da-dun-dun. Boom. Meanwhile, transition back to the Navy. Okay, here we go. The Navy, rebellion in Tajine and in Aegis. The Navy was stretched thin between the end of the Seven Warlords and the... Oh my God! Oh! 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 Doflamingo, Seraphim, and Crocodile and Moria? Oh! Oh, man! The Navy was stretched thin between the end of the Seven Warlords and the quelling of the sudden uprisings in member countries of the government. However, this was only the start of a new Navy campaign. Send out the Seraphim. Crocodile has appeared in empty bluffs. What? Crocodile? And that's cool. Wait. Empty bluffs. Empty Bluffs is the Whitebeard home, isn't it? And Crocodile's whole thing was he wanted to take out Whitebeard. So they sent the baby Seraphim Crocodile to Whitebeard's home. And then we got more. And Moria's young and he doesn't have the scars or anything. What is going on here? Oh no, chat's reminding me. No. Wait, that makes things crazier then. Wait a minute. Chat said Empty Bluffs is not Whitebeard's island. Empty Bluffs is actually Buggy's island. Wait. Crocodile appears in Empty... Wait, time out. The Navy is saying, send out all the Seraphim. Crocodile appears in Empty Bluffs. Are they referring to Crocodile as in the Cross Guild being in Empty Bluffs, and they're sending baby Crocodile to go fight Crocodile? Is that what's going on here? Are we going to get baby Crocodile, Seraphim, versus grown Crocodile, and then Moria and Doflamingo as Seraphims against the Cross Guild? Because this, oh man, this opens up a world of different possibilities too, because I've been saying for a long time, I want to see the Cross Guild go break out people from Impel Down, gather all of them, and basically create like the supernova group. Not the super, excuse me. I'm too excited. The Shichibukai group, excuse me. Like they basically create the Shichibukai group to go against the other Yonko to go find the One Piece. And I was thinking they would go to Impel Down, they'd break out Doflamingo. But now we got baby Doflamingo going, this is fire! And they're obviously still gonna have their double fruit powers. Also, this is interesting too because this is young Crocodile, and we've had so many different theories about what Ivankov knows about Crocodile, but it looks like Crocodile. It looks just like Crocodile. I don't think this is a girl Crocodile. I think this is regular Crocodile as a kid, which then leads me to believe, like, oh my gosh, I'm going in a bunch of different directions right now. Let's keep reading. This is hype, though. This is very, 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 very hype. Crocodile and Moria and Doflamingo Seraphims going on their way to the Cross Guild right now. Okay. And now we're back in present day. Sabo talking to the revolutionaries. Okay. The moment we landed in Lulusia, the people were ready. They took King Seki and Princess Komain prisoner and welcomed me with open arms when I emerged from hiding. That was the first time I saw the news in the paper and learned that I was accused of regicide. But they treated me as a hero, and though I wished to tell them the truth of what happened, I just couldn't do it. Not with their revolutionary passion was so strong. Okay, not when, excuse me, I said with. Not when their revolutionary passion was so strong. Thanks to Betty and the others, Lulusia was full of motivated people who wanted to join the Revolutionary Army. those are the ones that I brought back with me. Okay, so he's basically like, I'm not saying any different. They're already hyped. They are feeling the burn of the revolution, so I'm just gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it go. I'm not gonna tell them I didn't actually kill Cobra. Okay, so actually it worked in his favor that they lied about the thing with Cobra. So here we go. I couldn't get a jamming transponder, Snail, which is why I couldn't send a signal back home. Okay, so the message I did send was a relay call as we were leaving port. And you've got a little map on screen of Kamabaka, Lulusia, and then the little ship that Sabo was hiding on. If the government picked up the signal, they'd assume I was on Lulusia. But in fact, I was already at sea with hopeful recruits. And it was then while on the call that the vanishing of Lulusia happened, I presume. And that's Ivankov talking to Sabo. Okay, yes, it was a horrible scene on the ship. Most of those people left families behind, and they saw their home destroyed before their very eyes. It's a harrowing thing. So what in the world happened? A great shadow covered the entire sky. And in the very next moment, and you've got Dragon sweating a little bit saying, a great shadow. Something that no natural living creature could explain. Some dark, vast thing flew above the crowds. Oh, Ivankov is going to drop lore? Sabo, you said the name Emu earlier. That's right. Well, this is going to sound very strange, but among the first 20 who created the world 800 years ago, there was a monarch named Saint Emu of the Nerona dynasty. Okay, Saint Emu of the Nerona dynasty. So that negates the Don Quixote idea that we were bringing up last chapter, where we thought maybe Emu was from the Don Quixote family. So that is probably not the case. Saint Emu of the Nerona dynasty. Okay, one of the first 20, a monarch. Now look at this. It said that the means to create everlasting life exist in this world. Well, someone had to have proved it, right? So there we go. Okay, so, okay. Someone out there has been living for ages and ages without dying. Okay. Then you're saying that that's who I saw in there, and Sabo's shocked, thinking back on Emu, talking to Ivankov. Maybe the name is just a coincidence, but if the 5 elders are the greatest authority among the celestial dragons, they're so-called descendants of the gods, who else could possibly lord it over men like them? And there's more. Another wild leap in this story, my boy. If this thing you saw fly over the clouds and destroy an ancient nation was a government weapon, then only Vegapunk could have created it. So this is connecting a bunch of things, because obviously we saw Dragon and Vegapunk in the flashback like 10 or 20 chapters ago. So he's maybe aware of this. What's it called again? The mother flame? Or the mother frame, excuse me, is what it's called. The mother frame. So it's not the mother flame, it's the mother frame. Interesting. What the heck? Okay. Like the main frame, essentially? Is it meant to be a reference to... Ooh. That throws things... Wait. If this thing you saw over the clouds destroyed an entire nation was a government weapon, then only Vegapunk could have created it. Wait a minute! Who else could possibly lord it over men like them? And there's one more wild leap in this story. If the thing you saw fly over the clouds destroyed an entire nation was a government weapon, only Vegapunk could have created it. Hold on, Eva. Vegapunk would not build such an obvious tool of murder. But... oh my god! Dude, they're taking it in every direction! He's changing things around like every page! You've got Ivankov saying, but what if it were an ancient weapon? And if Emu was alive since ancient times, it all links up. So maybe it is Uranus then. So maybe the mother frame or whatever is actually Uranus. And Emu had the eternal life thing done on him, and that explains the government and the hop-hop fruit and wanting the eternal life and Doflamingo knowing the secret of the government. many little brain blasts are going on right now. This chapter, yo. So wait. Robin told us that the ancient weapons are real. But if the government is in possession of a weapon, then why have they not used it before? Why use it now? Dude, I'm telling you. Okay. All right. Next page. Here we go. In the present day, in sacred Marijoa, a single celestial dragon had just been executed. We have no food. We have no bread. Only cake to eat. But this was not news meant for the world to hear. The man who passed the sentence was once the ruler of a place called God Valley. Today, he is the supreme, oh my gosh. He is the supreme commander of the Holy Knights. The man he executed for protecting the fishmen was Saint Don Quixote Mosgard. Mosgard is dead? Stand up for subhuman scum, and you sink even lower. The man who passed the sentence, his name is Saint Figureland Garling. The Shanks Daddy theory might be right. Saint Figureland Garling. The man, Supreme Commander of the Holy Knights. Saint Figureland Garling. He's got like the crescent moon with his beard and his hair too. And he was once ruler of a place called God Valley, and Shanks was in the treasure chest in God Valley, as we saw in Film Red, as we saw in the little flashback. So is this Shanks? This has got to be Shanks' dad. Or grandfather or something, because Shanks' name is Figureland. We know he's from the family. To be continued, and Oda's going on a 4-week break after this. After this? Oda, are you serious? Oda. At least he left us with Peak. This is an incredible chapter. Absolutely incredible. I need to take a second to process everything that I just read, because there is a lot here. The double twist, I guess review time really quick. Having that twist midway through the chapter of, one, that this ancient weapon that destroyed Lucia was actually developed by Vegapunk, and it's called the Mother Frame, and people in the chat were saying that the scans were calling it Mother Flame. If it's called Mother Frame in the Viz, that probably means there's supposed to be like a tie with, I mean, there is a tie with Vegapunk there, obviously, if the government's pretending that Vegapunk made it. But then why would, there's just I have a lot of questions. If it's an ancient weapon, and Emu could control the ancient weapon, and he was from ancient times, and he actually lived that long, how does Vegapunk come into this equation? We know that Vegapunk met with the Gorosei. We saw that during the cover story thing a little while ago. We know that he had an interaction with them. But does Vegapunk fully understand what Emu is? Because I think Ivankov definitely figured it out. This whole thing about how Saint Emu of the Nerona dynasty was one of the first 20, I think there's no doubt in my mind, especially them bringing up the eternal life surgery. That says to me, without a doubt, the previous owner of the Op fruit granted eternal life to Emu. That is a guarantee right there. Definitely. No doubt about it. I feel like that's a lock in the story. I don't see a situation in which Oda would have brought that up and will mess with that at all. I think that's solid. But him bringing up that it's an ancient weapon, and like Dragon said, why would they do this now? If the government was in possession of such a weapon, why have they not used it before? Clearly, Emu was scared of Vivi and of Luffy and a bunch of other stuff. He could see the rising of the D, Sabo and everybody. But then again, does he know that Sabo's alive still? Does he think Sabo is still dead after the stuff in Lucia? My brain is melting. I feel, and then on top of that, whether or not it is an ancient weapon, or Vegapunk created, or maybe like maybe there is an ancient weapon. Maybe Uranus does exist, but maybe Vegapunk studied Uranus and then made another one, and there's actually two, because I always thought it was weird that we never really got to see what was going on with Capone at the very beginning of the time skip. Remember, Capone and his men were picked up by like some anti-gravity thing of a giant ship floating in the sky. And I always thought that was really weird, and I was like, what could this be in reference to? And then I assumed maybe it could be Uranus. So I'm so curious why Vegapunk would say that he created it and cover for Emu if it is an ancient weapon, if he doesn't fully know who Emu is. And then the other thing is like, see, because maybe that throws another thing into a tizzy, right? Because if it was actually Uranus, if it was an ancient weapon, how the hell did Capone and his men, way back at the beginning of the time skip, escape that? How did they escape that? To eventually end up on Whole Cake Island. So again, part of me thinks that maybe it is a duplicate, and that somehow, some way, the Gorosei think that Emu used Vegapunk's weapon, and they're not even fully aware of the fact that it's an ancient weapon, Uranus. I'm not sure. Incredibly hype, though. Absolutely incredibly hype. And then, okay, on top of all that stuff, on top of all of that, and this info dump of potentially the ancient weapon and Saint Emu of Nerona, on top of that, we get Saint Figarland Garling. And this man is the supreme commander of the Holy Knights, once ruled over God Valley, and we know God Valley was decimated, so obviously he's old enough to have witnessed the God Valley incident, and he killed Saint Don Quixote Moscard. So Moscard is dead, so Oda is actually killing more characters, which is super hype to me. Killed Cobra last chapter, kills Moscard this chapter, just for standing up for the fishmen. And he looks amazing. His design is incredible. He's got these little bands on his arm. He's got the sword. That's obviously the silhouette that we saw that we were all thinking was Shanks a couple chapters ago. I love this. And he's, like I said, he's got to be Shanks' dad or grandfather or something. The ruler of a place called God Valley. I mean, he looks pretty old, so maybe he is his grandfather. I don't know. And maybe amidst the fighting in God Valley, maybe his son or daughter who had Shanks hid him away in a treasure chest or something to keep him safe as all the rest of them were executed. Once the ruler of a place called God Valley, supreme commander of the Holy Knights. I also think it's awesome that we're seeing him before the other Holy Knights. It's just like, and then he's got the moon beard as well. Like the crescent moon thing, the ties with the Koski clan and Sulong and everything. There's something there with the crescent moon. I adore this. I absolutely, positively adore this. And for him to say to Moscard, to stand up for human, subhuman scum, you sink even lower. Like, so he's obviously like not a good dude at all. 100% pure evil. You even have the other celestial dragons cheering the death of Moscard in the background. I'm just like, I'm blown away by this. And then, beyond Saint Figarland Garling, and beyond potentially revealing Uranus, potentially revealing that Emu is Saint Emu of the Nerona dynasty from 800 years ago, one of the original founding 10. Beyond all of that, we see the Seraphims of Crocodile and Moria and Doflamingo finally, which I think it's so good that he introduced this now. Also, this is in flashback, which is interesting. The reveal of Crocodile, Moria, and Doflamingo is the last thing we see in flashback before we get back to present day with Sabo talking to the revolutionaries. Which then makes me wonder, where are they right now? Because if Empty Bluffs is where the Cross Guild is currently, and Crocodile is there, are we going to see a fight with the Seraphim and the Cross Guild? Or have they already arrived and the Cross Guild's doing their own thing? I am just, oh my gosh, this opens up so many story possibilities. And then, on top of that, we get the full name reveals of every single Gorosei. Every one of them. Saint J. Garcia Saturn of Science, Saint Marcus Mars of Environment, Saint Topman Warcury of Justice, Saint Ethan Baron Venus Juro, Godhead of Finance, and then finally Saint Shepherd Jupiter, Godhead of Agriculture. So the 5 major Gorosei run agriculture, finance, justice, environment, and science and defense. And Saturn is the one that's on his way to Egghead right now. Makes a lot of sense considering Egghead, the Science Island, Vegapunk, the Egghead incident is about to go down. Like, I am truly, truly wondering what is going to go down when we get to Egghead Island and what the Egghead incident is going to be. Because it could be any number of things. It could be the death of Vegapunk. It could be the death of a Gorosei, which would then freak all of them out, which would then spur war, which would make sense because we're going into the final war anyway. We know this. We're in the final saga. We're wrapping things up. Obviously, we're still far from the end. There's a lot of stuff to go over. But still in all, like, the pieces are now in place. Cross Guild is going after the One Piece. Luffy's going after the One Piece. Everyone's going after the One Piece. All the Yonko are going after the One Piece. Oh my gosh, dude. And then Emu just speaking again is so hype. Seeing Emu have these conversations. Oh, and then even the very, very beginning of this chapter, seeing exactly where everybody is, seeing Stelly looking at the Vivi picture, seeing Spandam with Cypher Pole, seeing Bonnie on her way in the ship, how she ended up on her way to Egghead, Sabo on the ship to Lulucia, Wapol and Vivi, how they ended up with Morgans. This is really an incredible chapter. Really, really incredible. And then, again, why is it called the Mother Frame? I wish to use Vegapunk's creation, the Mother Frame. Like, is that supposed to be a mix of motherboard and mainframe? I'm guessing that's probably what it's supposed to sound like. But again, I don't know if that's the real ancient weapon or Vegapunk's creation or what's going on there. I don't know. Because I would not put it past Emu to make it seem like he wants Vegapunk to create a weapon akin to Uranus and then to actually have Uranus chilling in the background. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Obviously, this is a 10 out of 10 chapter. Okay, obviously, this is one of the best chapters of the year. After just coming off of one of the best chapters of the year, this year has had so many incredible chapters. I feel like this year had chapter after chapter after chapter, banger after banger, with the stuff with Shanks and the stuff with Kid, and then Law and Blackbeard and Beppo, and now leading up to this. Truly, truly, truly incredible. I am not even mad that we are going on a 4-week break because I feel like there's so much stuff to discuss. Like I said, I will be doing live streams during the other weeks in which we don't have chapters, so don't worry about it. There will be content. I don't know, again, what exactly we're going to be doing, but we will be doing something. But this is just, I mean, and then again, like, any one of these reveals could have been enough for one chapter, I feel like. The reveal of St. Figureland Garling could have been a reveal for one chapter. You could have had the reveal of the Eternal Life surgery being used on Emu and him being St. Emu of Nerona. Also, I keep saying him, but they didn't refer to him as king. Ivankov says among the first 20, there was a monarch named St. Emu. So Emu could still be a her. We're not really sure yet. I don't know. Necessary steps to make it so. This is just a wild chapter. And again, the thing with Saint Venus Juro and potentially being a fight for Zoro, I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. The mystery is there. The hype is there. I can't wait to see what's going to go down next. Now, before we get into talking about theories, because there's a lot of donations today. Holy mackerel. Thank you, we already have $350 worth of donations to get through. Oh my goodness gracious, thank you everybody for coming through. Thank you very, 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 very much. We have a lot of these. A lot of donation talk, a lot of theory talk. And this is just in the beginning of the chapter. We haven't even gotten to the super chat part yet. And we have 350 backed up. Wow. Thank you, everybody. Okay, so let me really quickly show what James cooked up for this chapter. Let me open this up. Let me go to the drive. James, what'd you cook up this week? Let me see. Open this up. Full screen. Okay. James 1086. Oh, man. James for 1086. Wait, can I remove my camera really quick? Look at this. Yo! That is stunning. Absolutely stunning. I am also very happy that you didn't go with Figureland, because I feel like that could be something that a lot of people would get really mad at me for spoiling in the thumbnail. I am very happy you went with the Gorosei. This is gorgeous. Showing the 5 of them together like that, with the purple in the background, the shading is glorious. Wow. I even have people in the chat saying, I want a print of James's artwork. James does not miss W. James. I mean, this is gorgeous. With Saturn and Venus Juro and the rest of them there. It's going to be weird not calling them Gorbachev and Sanji's dad and Gandhi. Like, they actually have names now. Mars and Jupiter and, oh, man. What a cool shot. Really, that is absolutely gorgeous. Oh, Mercury and the rest of them. James, well done. Glorious. Absolutely glorious. Let me turn my camera back on. Oh, man. Oh, man. James, you killed it. You killed it this week. James in the chat said Gandhi took the longest to draw because of the sword. Oh, I can imagine, because you've got a lot of detail on the hilt of the sword, the little lines there as well, the cross on it. It's beautiful, though. The shading, though, I love the shading, and I love what you did with the art and the lighting. It looks absolutely glorious. Even Invader Jim donated right now and said, James said, let me go completely go off before the Void Century month. Wow. Wow, James. Let me read your artist notes real quick. What'd you say? 4-week break, huh? Well, it'll be good for Oda Sensei to have the rest, and his art will be stellar when he returns. Saint Garling Figureland looks wild. Everyone, in the meantime, read Robico and Witchwatch during the next 4 weeks. He's got to get that plug in there for Robico, of course. Up in the clouds, that better be Eneru or Carrot. Sincerely, James, One Piece 1086. Man, oh man, I just really can't get over how good this looks. This is absolutely glorious. Wow. Banger after banger. And the one James did last week as well with Sabo was so glorious too. This is just really, really gorgeous. I almost want to take a thumbnail of my face and put it like right here. Like put my face in the background and look menacing and then try to match the lighting with it. But this is just absolutely stunning. Great work, James. Absolutely incredible job this week. Really, really well done. All right, I'm going to turn the alert box back on. I'm going to turn my YouTube chat back on. We're going to go through some of these super chats. There are a lot of them. Oh, man. Okay. Let's get started. Let me go all the way back. Oh, my gosh, dude. All the way back to David P., who said, do you think if and when Vivi joins the crew, she'll eat the snow fruit from Nami's tree? Dating back to my theory way back when regarding the snow fruit potentially being on the tree and that Carrot or Nami would eat it. Maybe she'll fight Crocodile later on too. I don't think Vivi will get the snow fruit. No, I do not think that's the case. I think if Vivi's going to get any devil fruit, I think it's going to be Kuma's. We talked about that a lot during my last stream, so I would say if you're interested in my thoughts on Vivi's potential devil fruits, definitely go check that out. Hollow Avarice donated and said, Roger, there's so much to talk about here, but my biggest excitement has got to be the possible Crocodile versus Crocodile clash and the leader of the Holy Knights. Also, I just wanted to say I love your new podcast. I'm super excited for next month. Thank you very much. Now, Hollow, I do want to mention, though, my podcast is not monthly. It's weekly. So if you're at all interested in the podcast, I want you to know it's live every Friday right here on YouTube. It's not every month, it's every week. So definitely make sure to tune in during these break weeks when we don't have One Piece chapters. I'm going to have a lot of content for you guys, going over a bunch of different thoughts and things like that. So, but thank you. Thank you very much, Hollow. Greatly appreciate that. Also, I also want to give a very quick shout out. There should be a link in the description of this video on YouTube to my Spotify page for the new podcast. And the reason I'm bringing that up here is because I'm also going to be uploading audio versions of the One Piece manga chapter reactions to the Spotify page as well. So if you're somebody who likes, while you're working out, listening to things and you don't have YouTube Premium and you want to be able to listen without having the video on screen, the audio version of my reaction and review to the One Piece chapters is going to be live on the same feed as my regular podcast, and that's going to be live every Sunday after these are done, obviously. And in addition to that, I will also be debating uploading certain select reactions as well, too. Not just the One Piece reactions and not just the podcast. But that's just a matter of time. I want to see how many other people really enjoy having me upload that stuff to the Spotify feed. But rest assured, the podcast and the One Piece reactions are both available on the Spotify feed, which you can check out in the description below. They're both on there, so make sure to check them out. Also, it's not just on Spotify. If you search Touch Base with RogersBase or just RogersBase, you will find our feed on Apple Podcasts and Audible as well. So make sure to check that out. Yeah. All right. Now here we go. Jacob Magnata donated and said, chapter 594, page 14. Could this be Lucia's weapon? Let me see. 594. Let me see this. On what page? 14? 594 is the one that introduced Kong. So this is way back when. Let me see. Oh, this is what I referred to. Yeah, we were talking about the Capone thing earlier. So if you scroll back a little bit on the stream today, you'll hear a whole conversation about this during my review portion on stream today. Yeah. I think it could be. I think it could be the Lucia weapon. It could be the Mother Frame, or it could be maybe a Vegapunk duplicate or something like that. I don't know. We got a massive $100 donation from my guy Maxim. It's been a minute. Nice to see you again, Maxim. Maxim donated and said, what a chapter. Emu's name reveal, the 5 elders name reveal, Vegapunk's weapon, the former king of God Valley, Dragon, the remaining Seraphim, foreshadowing for days. This is really the time to be a One Piece fan. Maxim, I completely agree with you. There's no better time to be a One Piece fan. Thank you for the awesome donation. Greatly appreciate it. We always love you, Maxim. Maxim is the GOAT. Maxim forever. Member forever. Goated member of the community. Coming through on all these live streams with the donations. Greatly appreciate it, Maxim. Coming back for an amazing chapter today. Thank you very, very much. Appreciate it. Nakama. Thank you. All right. Hollow Avarice donated again and said, if Luffy is the sun god and the Gorosei are the planets, could the Shanks family potentially represent the moon? I kind of like that idea, actually. I like that idea. That Shanks is the moon and that Luffy is the sun, and then you've got the other Gorosei as well. I think that's kind of hype. I love that. I think that's really, really cool. All right. Yo! Whoa, 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 whoa. What in the world? Maxim came through with a 400 euro donation. What? Sorry I couldn't attend the last couple streams because after 4 years of blood, toil, tears, and sweat, I finally launched my new app, Deep News, to counter fake news. Downloads, ratings, reviews, and help a lot. I'm sorry for this shameless promo, Roger. Dude, Maxim, by all means, plug away your app. That's fine. 400 euro donation. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I actually do know, though, Maxim, to say something. Maxim has been working on this app for a very, very long time, on this news app, because we were talking about this when Reagan and I were in London last year. When we were in London last year, he was hard at work at this. And again, as he mentioned in the donation, he's been 4 years at work on this app. Now your app is finally launched. Look at this. You launch an app, I launch a podcast. Look at this. The week of launches, Maxim. Wow. Maxim is literally becoming big news, too. He's got this new app. Deep news. This is big news. Okay, Maxim. Wow. Well, Maxim, thank you. I'm calling you Big News Maxim now from here on out. It makes sense, too. You got Maxim, M in your name, Morgan's, M in the name. Big News Maxim. There we go. You heard the man. Go give him some ratings. Go get him some reviews. Go get him some downloads. Send that Mammoth Boys love his way. Dude, Maxim, thank you again. 400 euros. Damn. That is unbelievable, dude. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. But yeah, you've been hard at work, dude. Don't ever feel bad for having to miss streams or something. We're happy to have you. We love you, buddy. Wow. Or Maximum News Morgans. There we go. We could say that. Maximum News. Dude, thank you again. Holy mackerel. Wow. 500. Jesus. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. Let's get back to some of these other donations. This is unbelievable. Seraphim 7 donated and said, there's another theory going around that the mother flame or mother frame that Vegapunk created is a power source that they are using in the unpowered till now ancient weapon. Oh, that it basically powers the ancient weapon. Well, that would also make a lot of sense then. That maybe, oh, interesting. And Philip Dew donated and said, I wonder if it's a mistranslation, if it is actually Mother Flame like the scans. So it could be the missing ancient fuel for Uranus, which would explain why they haven't used it up until now. See, but I think, I don't know, I feel like flame and frame is something that is very clear in which the translation team at Viz, because again, this is the official release, and I'm not saying they're always right, but I am saying they do have to get this stuff approved by Shueisha in Japan. If it is actually Mother Frame and not Mother Flame, that still doesn't negate the idea that it's something that Vegapunk developed to actually use the ancient weapon. Because it could be a mainframe, it could be a code or something that Vegapunk developed to actually activate the ancient weapon. Because think back to the beginning of Egghead Island, where he was trying to study the ancient weapon giant things that were chilling on Egghead Island. Remember? And like, there was the voice of all things and the power source and like what activated it. The mother frame could be something he developed that activated the ancient weapon. And it might not be a power source. It might actually be like a code or an activation key or something that he installed in it. I don't know. The L and the R could be interchangeable, honestly, is what the chat is saying. Yeah, honestly, I am wondering, though. I am wondering what it's going to end up seeming more like, a flame or a frame. I guess when we eventually end up seeing it, we'll know. But man, oh man, oh man. Roger, is it okay for Maxim to drop his link since he's a mod? Of course. Of course he can. Of course Maxim could drop his link. Are you kidding me? Maxim's one of the GOATs. He donated 500 euros. He could drop links to whatever he wants in the chat. Absolutely. Of course. And Maxim's a buddy of mine. So yeah, I trust Maxim. Go on ahead, buddy. Yeah, of course. Of course. Drop your links away. Yeah, I'm very curious what that's going to end up being, the flame thing. Very, very curious. Let's continue onwards, because maybe other people will bring this up in their donations. Ace donated. Ace2532 said maybe the entire Figureland clan makes up the Holy Knights, and that Shanks is a twin that he's aware of. Oh, so some people still think maybe it's going to be a Shanks twin thing. Okay. Also, Law is dying in the final battle to make Emu mortal again, if true. Oh, like to reverse the eternal life thing? Interesting. That'd be an interesting idea. I kind of like that, Ace. Papa Phoenix donated and said, I would like to go back and read the conversation with Shanks and Whitebeard. Whitebeard says during that conversation, seeing your face makes my scars ache. Maybe, knowing this, he could have been referring to the Figarland family during the God Valley incident. Bro! If Oda knew Shanks' family was involved in God Valley way back when, during that initial conversation between Shanks and Whitebeard, that is some absolutely incredible foreshadowing. That is absolutely insane. Because I never, ever, ever would have thought of that connection like that. Ever. Wow. I really love that. I think you might be onto something, honestly. I think that might be it. I think maybe Whitebeard, especially because Whitebeard is older, might be familiar with Garland. Oh, man. Great idea, Papa Phoenix. I love that. Ty Wild donated and said, the people after Dofi and Impel Down must be holy knights. So a prayer circle for the Doflamingo chapter soon. I would like to see a Doflamingo chapter. That would be awesome. A Doflamingo chapter where he fights a holy knight. I'm down with that. I would love to see that. Hollow Avarice donated again and said, I agree Mother Frame could be a mainframe and the shadow is Uranus. It could be a mobile sky island and the frame gives them control of it. Or maybe it's the power to watch events from afar like a satellite. Ooh, that'd be interesting too. I like that. I like the satellite idea a lot. That's really cool. Just Here donated and said, imagine not being a One Piece fan right now. Good God! And best of luck avoiding spoilers. I believe St. Garling wasn't there when God Valley got destroyed, because why would Roger Garp have to protect the Celestial Dragons? Well, what do you mean? I mean, if he was the ruler of God Valley, and we've seen him raining justice upon other Celestial Dragons, as he did with Mosgard during this chapter, who's to say that he wasn't killing his own people? Who's to say some wild stuff didn't happen in God Valley? And I keep calling him Garland, but it's not Garland. It's Garling, right? Figarland Garling. Who's to say Garling wasn't going after some of the other Celestial Dragons and his own people? I don't know. We need to see the God Valley incident at this point. I feel like I was thinking back and forth about whether or not we would actually see the full thing eventually in a flashback. And now I kind of feel like we have to. Knowing that Garling was the ruler of God Valley and is the commander of the Holy Knights, and obviously has a connection to the Shanks, I feel like we have to see it. Not just in a movie or something, though I would love a canon One Piece film showing us God Valley. I think that would be awesome. But, wow. Absolutely incredible stuff. Absolutely incredible. And you're completely right, Just Here. It is going to be very difficult avoiding spoilers, but I will do my best. Patrick25, C. Patrick25, donated and said, based on how Shanks' relative reacts to standing up for subhuman scum, this could explain why Shanks is the polar opposite, protecting them. There we go. Yeah. Which is, again, another question that brings up, like, maybe there is a Shanks evil twin. That maybe there were two sons, and that Garling betrayed one of them and put him in a treasure chest and left him to die there, and then he raised the other one to be part of the God Knights. Maybe. Maybe Shanks does have a brother. Who knows? That would be insane if Shanks has a twin brother and has that connection to the family. That would really be insane. But anything is possible at this point in the story. All right. RealAFan888 said, since Vegapunk said Logias can't be replicated, I'm willing to bet that Seraphim Crocodile has Pika's Ishi Ishi no Mi, since Sandstone makes it Logia adjacent. Oh, that's a really good theory, actually. Yeah. If he can't replicate the Logia Devil Fruit of Crocodile, then maybe he has Pika's. I like the Sandstone idea. That's cool. That's really cool. Because now we know that Alvalo does not have Pika's. Alvalo has the Island Fruit. And there was that assumption for a brief moment that maybe it would be the same one as Pika's, but then later on in that chapter, it got confirmed it was the island fruit. So, yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't hate the idea that the crocodile Seraphim has a sandstone fruit, and that makes it Logia adjacent. I kind of like that, actually. Very, very cool. That's definitely a theory I would not have thought of either, so thank you for bringing that up. Paul Glansman donated and said, I'm going to guess that all the God Knights will be moon-themed as they circle the planets, aka the Gorosei. Love that idea as well. Really, really like that one. 4 more weeks wait until we get more peak from Paul. Dude, that 4-week wait is going to be brutal, but don't you worry, I will have content in the meantime. In the meantime, we're going to finish Tears of the Kingdom. I've got multiple collab streams coming up. We've got the podcast coming up. We've got potentially stuff at Tadum for One Piece. That'll be super cool too. So I'm excited. I'm very, 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 very excited for what's to come. Yeah. We have 2 $50 donations from Temp60 coming through. So essentially a $100 donation from Temp60 saying, the Shanks family of the world nobles potentially ruled the God Valley. My theory is that Blackbeard was born enslaved by the Figar lands, which explains their rivalry. The Rocks invasion led to the Figar lands hiding baby Shanks in the chest and young Blackbeard becoming an orphan. Interesting! Oh, I kind of like that. Blackbeard then heard about the God Valley incident and unlocks his memories of it. This makes any of the Figar lands a target of his revenge, which is why he scars Shanks. He sees Rocks as the one who freed him, which is why he's on Hachinosu as the saber of Zebek. Yo, I love that idea. Continuing on, Rocks D. Zebek and his will being passed on to Blackbeard. And then you've got Shanks and the Figar land family. Yo, I love this. I love this. I love this. I love this. Yes, 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 yes. I also love the idea that if there is that connection there between Zebek and the Figar lands and what happened in God Valley, that potentially Blackbeard would want to scar Shanks. I love that idea. Temp, that's a really, really good theory. That's a good way to tie all this stuff together into one cohesive storyline. I love it. Also, yes, I see Ronnie in the chat saying Randy's starting in 20 minutes, so come through after this if you're free. We're actually planning on raiding Randy. So if you stick around, we're going to attempt to use the raid thing on YouTube to raid Randy's stream. So don't you worry about a thing, Ronnie. So we'll be sticking around. We'll be raiding Randy. I was actually talking about Randy. I wanted to do it last week, but I didn't have the opportunity to do it because I was out of town. But we're planning on using the new, it's not like a raid feature, but it's like the, I think it's called like live redirect or something. But we're planning on doing a live redirect. So actually, I need you guys to stick around anyway to test that for Randy's stream. So, perfect. Thank you again, Temp60, for the donation. That was amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Just Here donated and said, clear as day, this is why Sengoku said at Marineford, only because it's you to Shanks. Because he's a celestial dragon the same as Dofi, which is why Dofi's title was stripped as Warlord and then reacquired. Clear as day. There you go. Celestial dragon, ruler, descendant potentially of the ruler of the God Valley incident. Absolutely fire. Man. Clown donated and said, since Ivankov talked about Emu being immortal because of the Op-Op fruit, I now believe that Law's true role in the final war will be to reverse the surgery on Emu. That goes along with what somebody else said earlier as well. So you are not alone in that belief at all. You are not alone. Panda Man Post donated and said, I love that you can point out most of the One Piece world problems on each of these gods, like Saint J. Garcia for suppressing science in the works. That's a very nice little touch. I'm glad you brought that up. Mike Mancool coming in here with the troll donation, saying 1 out of 10 chapter, no caribou. No caribou potential for 4 weeks. Ona is truly punishing us right now. Dude, I'm fine without caribou for 4 weeks. That's A-okay. That's A-okay. Oh, man. That's funny. Amy Rule jumping back in with the donation too, bringing up the whole Mother Flame thing and the fuel theory. We talked about that a lot earlier. Invader Shim said James let me go off before the Void Month, talking about James's thumbnail. So now we're catching up to when we showed off the thumbnail art. Okay, so here we go. We're making our way through. Mike Mancool also donated again with another real donation saying, please rank the Gorosei in terms of how attractive they are. All right, I'll go over and do this real quick. In terms of how attractive they are. All right, rank the Gorosei in terms of how attractive they are. Obviously, Sanji's dad is number one. He's the only one without gray hair. So I would say he's number one. Then I would say 2 would be the old man with the beard. 3 would be Gandhi. 4 would be Saturn. 5 would be Gorbachev. Final answer. And I wish I knew all of their names right now, but I don't know all their names off the top of my head. I know. Well, actually, let me see. Let me see if I know all their names off the top of my head after just reading it one time. Venus Juro, right? Saint Jupiter, Mercury, and Mars, right? So I got them all, actually. Look at that. See, I'm good. I'm good. Don't worry about it. I'm good. I got them all. I got all the names. I'm impressed with myself. Beautiful. All right, let's continue. Panda Man Post donated again and said, usually Venus Juro would be responsible from taking all the gold from Wano. Since he's the god of finance and Wano was once noted as the land of gold, maybe there is a tie there. Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. That's a really cool idea. That he was responsible for stripping Wano of their riches. I like that a lot. Pat Garling, I hope I'm saying her name right, donated $10 super chat saying, usually at church at this time, but I slept in today. At least I got to watch your reaction to this fire chapter. Do you think Garling had a big role in God Valley? Absolutely, positively. And going back to the other donation, do you think he scarred Whitebeard? I think there is a very high chance that he is the one that scarred Whitebeard. Yes, indeed, Pat. Yes, indeed. Thank you again for your donation. Greatly appreciated. Also, in addition to all the people who are donating, I also want to give a shout out to all of the members who have joined during the stream today. There are so many new members. I'll try to shout out everybody by the end of the stream. But thank you again to all the members who have been joining, the people who have been gifting memberships. Really, thank you very much. Memberships are the lifeblood of my YouTube channel. You guys allow me to do what I do on a weekly basis, to not worry about view counts, to not worry about the algorithm. It's all thanks to the members. So really, one massive shout out right now to all the members coming through during the stream today, all the people re-upping the memberships, all the new members. Greatly appreciate all of you. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Nakama, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, let us continue. Let's see. We have Sella P, who donated and said, I love the speculation for Buggy's endgame matchup. Maybe Buggy versus Seraphim Moria or Buggy versus Usopp? I feel like we have to have a tussle, even if it's a joke. We have to have a tussle between Buggy and Luffy, I think. I still think endgame matchup for Cross Guild is probably Sanji Crocodile, Zoro Mihawk, Luffy Buggy. That's kind of what I think. But I would love to see Buggy Usopp. Honestly, I would love to see Buggy Usopp and Crocodile Robin. Like Usopp and Robin, I think would be really, really cool fights. Because Usopp obviously has the goofiness factor that Buggy has. And Robin has that connection with Crocodile from Alabasta. And I think seeing like Robin utilizing her powers, showing how powerful she actually is, going against Crocodile would be fire. I would love to see that. Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up, though. Appreciate it. All right. Alejandro Solis donated and said, I didn't get a chance to say this last time, but the last chapter was what the One Piece was all about. Hype, sadness, and laughter. But this chapter is what makes One Piece top tier and my absolute favorite manga. Couldn't agree more, Alejandro. Couldn't agree more. Ken donated and said, Crocodile versus Baby Crocodile, Mihawk versus Baby Moria, Buggy versus Baby Dofi, almost confirmed. Buggy is about to own Dofi. Okay, let's not get too wild here, okay? If Doflamingo Seraphim is anything like true Doflamingo, I don't know if Buggy's matching up to that. I really don't. Though I do think the Seraphim fight would be a really cool potential way to show how much the three of them have grown. But obviously Mihawk is like already strong, so we don't really need to show that. But we do need to see like how Crocodile has grown in the time, since the time skip. And I do want to see how Buggy has grown as well too, so there you go. But I don't think Buggy's gonna fight Seraphim Doflamingo, if I had to guess. Arend donated and said, if the right translation is mother frame and Emu's name is a wordplay on neuron with neurona in Spanish meaning neuron, what does it all mean? Big brain Oda. Oh, interesting. Oh, that's kind of cool. I never considered that. I hadn't heard that from anybody before. That the neurona family might be a wordplay on the word neuron. Neurona in Spanish. Interesting. And that mother frame would be wordplay on mainframe. Cool. I kind of like that a lot. Sam Fisher said, we've only seen 2 panels of him, but I already need a figure of Figureland. A Figureland, if you will. I'm sure there will eventually be a Figureland statue at some point, most definitely. Thank you to Ronnie, by the way, for gifting more memberships to the chat. Greatly appreciate it. Nakama, thank you, thank you, thank you. Greatly appreciate that. Thank you. We have TJC713 saying, what if the mother frame is not the weapon, but the controls for the weapon? Since they don't have the Shirahoshi weapon, so maybe Vegapunk hacked it, which goes back in line with the mother frame thing. There you go. So again, talking about what we've been bringing up time and time again, that mother frame could just be the thing that activates the ancient weapon, and that's why they haven't used it for so long. Totally. We've got Brian Carter donating saying, what chapter do you think Kizaru will get to Egghead? Ooh, I think chapter 1100, which is about 14 chapters away, because I think there's a lot that Oda can jump back to, like Garp. What do you think? What chapter do I think Kizaru gets to Egghead? You know, there's still a lot of other stuff at play, obviously. We have York still in play. We have Lucci and Kaku and Zoro and Luffy. We've got, let's see, Kizaru on his way. The Seraphims. We've got Saturn, which now is all but confirmed that Saturn was the one that was messing with the cameras and doing things like that, because the shadow that we saw looked very similar to the shadow of the Gorosei that we saw in the previous chapter. So we're obviously going to see something with Saturn. We absolutely have to see more of what's going on with Kuma and Marijoa right now, which I think is going to tie with Vivi, Wapple, and Morgans. Let's see. I mean, there's just a lot of factors at play. There's a lot of factors. I'm really not sure. I think Kizaru could honestly come into play next chapter, whenever we get back to Egghead Island. Or they could save it for the chapter 1100 reveal. I'm honestly not sure. I think, if anything, maybe the 1100 thing is maybe Kuma's death. I could see 1100 being Kuma's death, because Kuma needs to die before the end of Egghead Island, I think. And you need to have that connection with Bonnie and her father and the memories, and finding out more about them and why he fully gave himself up. I honestly, I feel like if anything is going to be the 1100 reveal, I think it's going to be Kuma's death. I could see that happening. Yeah. I don't know, though. It could be anything. There's so many different things at play. And like you said, I mean, we still haven't gotten the resolution of Kuzan and Garp. We still have stuff with Shanks we could see. We still have stuff with Blackbeard. It could be any number of things. Now, even the stuff with Cross Guild and the Seraphims, I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah. A lot of stuff happening. Coco Cat donated and said, I love the name for your new podcast. Thank you very much. A lot of people like the name Touch Base with RogersBase. I got to thank my members for that. Massive thank you to the members. Mike Moore donated again and said, oh, there's a lot of donations here. Wait a minute. Whoa. This is like a whole second group of donations. Mike Moore said, have you seen the theory that Garling gave Whitebeard his scar? Yes, we talked about that a little earlier. Sam Fisher said O'Hara had a theory that God Knights are all figurelands, so Garling isn't just Supreme Commander, but the strongest and the patriarch of all of them, with the other ones being his wife, his siblings, and his children. That's a really cool theory. I would love that. That the entire Figureland family is actually the God's Knights, which would make sense because they're from God Valley, right? If he's the Supreme Commander and he was the former ruler, that they would all be people who originated from God Valley as well. Totally. Totally. Morgan McNeil said, when I hear frame, my first thought was Gundam frames. Oh, interesting. Oda does like his Gundams. That's a cool idea that maybe Vegapunk built the main frame of it using like a Gundam model set or something. It's kind of cool. Julius, on the topic of frames as well, said frame is used in official English, Spanish, and Indonesian versions, and flame is used in the official Brazilian, Portuguese, and French versions. So honestly, it could go either way right now. Interesting. So both of the official translations for different languages used a different word. Interesting. For the time being, nobody's wrong. It could be Mother Flame, it could be Mother Frame. It really doesn't matter. But thank you for bringing that up. I never would have known about the Brazilian and Portuguese versions. Thank you. Sam Fisher also donated and said the name Garling is Anglo-Saxon, maybe a reference, to the Holy Roman Empire, i.e. Charlemagne. So I have a theory that maybe Shanks' real name could be Figureland Charlemagne, which would be incredibly badass. That would be really cool. I would love that. And if it's not Shanks, maybe his evil twin could be Charlemagne. That'd be cool. Grimp donated and said, looking back, I don't think Shanks met the Gorosei. I do think the one who met them has sideburns and is actually one of his siblings. There you go. Goes back to what other people were talking about. Mio donated and said, shout out to the names that Oda gives his characters. I always love what he comes up with. Stuff like St. J. Garcia and Figureland Garling. Very cool and original names that have a lot of interesting things to pull from. Very true. Shout out again, whoever just donated a bunch of members. Greatly appreciate it. Ronnie Williams, thank you for gifting all those memberships. Greatly appreciate it. Mike Moore donated again and said the Mother Flame could also be a tie to the Lunarian Flame. Seems like the Seraphim flames last kind of long, so maybe it could be that. True. Very true. Real a fan 888 donated and said, missed pointing this out last week, but one shadow could be absolutely be the Hebi no Mi mythic Quetzalcoatl based off the shape of the bird head. That would be really cool. Though, I will say, I've thought about it more since the last chapter. I think the bird one is a mythical model Ra. I think it is Ra. Because I think it's going to be like a parallel to Luffy being the sun god Nika and Ra being the sun god of Egyptian mythology, and that will potentially have a tie with Alabasta and things like that. So that's my guess. If I had to guess on what the bird one is, I think it's going to be Ra. Also because I just want to see a Ra devil fruit, because I love Egyptian mythology. I always have. I literally have on my shelves back here. Look at my bookshelves. I'm not even kidding. Look at this. I have Egyptian little bookshelves right there. I love them. I've always liked that mythology. I've always said that if God of War is going to go in a different location, I would love Ancient Egypt. I think the God of War franchise in Ancient Egypt could be really awesome. So, yeah. That's my guess, though, Ra. But I think you could be right as well. I think it could be Quetzalcoatl as well, too. Natsu donated and said, Roger, I finally caught up to the One Piece manga as of yesterday. It's one of the best I've ever read. Congrats on finally catching up, Natsu. Congratulations. Hearty nakama for you. Congratulations as well. That guy 66 said, I'm pretty sure the immortality surgery only gives eternal life as in you stop aging. I don't think you straight up can't be killed. Also, the godhead of agriculture being named Shepherd is pretty funny. I mean, I also think that they could die. It's not just like eternal life that makes you immune to death by natural causes. I think it just makes you not die of natural causes. Like, you're immortal in terms of natural causes, but if you still, like, fall in the water and drown, you still die. That's how I always took it, but I could be wrong. Kudo Kid 302 donated and said, I bet Roger told Shanks that he was truly a Celestial, and that's why Shanks wept. But then, like Sabo, Ace, and Luffy, he got to choose his path despite his father and lineage. And I'm also super happy to finally catch a stream. That's a really great idea that's what Roger told Shanks. That's very, very cool. The idea that maybe he told him, look, you are not your family. You are not a Figarland. You are with us. I believe in you. You know, do what you want to do. You don't have to be like your father. I like that. That guy also donated again and said, his name could also be a reference to St. Peter. The shepherd and St. Peter does feel a little biblical. There you go. Yeah. You mean Jupiter. Definitely. We brought that up even. Yeah, St. Peter and Jupiter and yeah. Yeah. Post Time Skip Sam donated $20. Said, thank you for getting me into One Piece. I can finally enjoy these chapters with all of you. My favorite series of fiction, period. Nakama. I am very, very happy for getting you into One Piece. I always love hearing that. It really, really makes me happy to hear that. Thank you very, very much. To all the people who always say they get into One Piece because of me, I love you. I appreciate you. You're the best. Let's see. I Ate Your Potato donated and said, there's a theory that Jupiter will be killed by Emu. He might be based off of Zeus. Zeus rebelled against his father, and Jupiter was always the one questioning the government's choices. Well, once again, Jupiter, if I'm looking back at the chapter, is the godhead of agriculture. But he's the one who says we can bring the ancient battle to its conclusion. So I don't necessarily know if any of them will go against Emu. But I'm not against the idea that one of them will. Yeah, not against that at all. Rob donated and said, I just want to say I like how Viz went for Warcury when his Japanese name has the letters for both Valkyrie and Mercury in it. So Warcury makes a lot of sense. I also like the name Warcury too. It's just weird how some of them are straight up named like the planets and other ones have weird names. Saturn, Mars, Warcury, Venus, Juro, and Jupiter. Very cool. Okay. Let us continue. Hollow donated again and said, Cross Guild and their fight could be important because we still never had a proper showcase of Mihawk's power. Only him testing people or stories about him. So it's time. I mean, I would love to see, people were bringing up earlier they wanted to see Crocodile fight his younger self or see Buggy fight Dofi or something. I think it would be kind of awesome to see Mihawk fight all three at once and just wipe them all out. Like one clear shot, slice them all up and they're all done. I think that could be kind of cool. Especially if he's the greatest swordsman in the world. I want to see them go all out. I want to see him destroy all the Seraphim. Again, Ronnie Williams coming through with all these memberships during the stream. Absolutely incredible. We got, I mean, this is unbelievable. We had $1,000 worth of donations on this stream alone. And all the gifted memberships and all the people who re-upped their memberships. That is absolutely unbelievable. I cannot stress enough. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming through with the donations, coming through with the memberships, coming through with the love. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everybody. I cannot stress enough how amazing that is. Thank you so, 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 so much. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Incredible. I feel very loved today. Thank you. Mackerel donated twice, 2-part donation, and said Luffy has the properties of rubber and the power to bring his imagination to life or his dreams to life. It's like he's a metaphor for a tool that lets Oda puts his dreams down on paper, such as a pencil. So if Emu is the devil due to his cartoonish devil's tail that pierced Cobra and injured Sabo and calls himself Mu or Void, what tool is opposite of the pencil? The eraser. True. But what are you saying with that, though? Because are you talking about how there were a bunch of theories during the last chapter of, like, the idea that maybe Emu, being the devil, also has, like, the ink devil fruit to rewrite history? Or it could be the eraser that, like, wipes history away from everything, calls himself the Void? I mean, it could have multiple meanings, obviously, Macro, right? Like, his name could mean, because he's the Void, right, could mean he's the eraser of history, while his power, being potentially a devil fruit, would be the natural enemy of the god, which would be Luffy, which is the sun god, which again is going to rewrite history by bringing the new dawn. It's just so funny because I feel like the stuff with Luffy and Emu and even the Gorosei, I feel like there's 8 different meanings to their names. I feel like there's multiple different ways in which you can interpret what Oda wants to do with those characters. And it kind of feels like, to me, that by naming all these characters in the way that he has and showing them in the silhouettes that he has, that it really opens him up to like allow for some really specific storytelling in the near future, even if he hasn't fully decided what the story is going to be at this point moving forward. Like, it allows him to basically open up his mind and go, okay, well, look, if people are really relating to this reference and this read into this character name, I could go further into this one, right? Like, I mean, it gives him options for his storytelling, which I think is really cool. So yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. That Emu and Luffy and all their powers and things like that could have multiple different meanings. Absolutely, Mackerel. Donated and said, what if Dragon and company decide to go to Egghead now after hearing about Vegapunk's weapon, and that will act as the Straw Hat allies against the Marines? I mean, I would love that. I still think the Revolutionaries are going to go against the God Knights, because we found out about the God Knights during the same exact chapter that we found out about the names of the secondary commanders of the Revolutionary Army, like the right-hand man of Karasu, the right-hand man of Morley. We found out about them during that chapter. So I kind of feel like, and I also kind of feel like it would be interesting, now that we know that Shanks has a tie to the Figureland family, I think it'd be interesting for Luffy's father to potentially fight Shanks's father. I think that could be really, really cool. So that's what I want to see, yeah. So naturally, I think the Revolutionaries are going to be allies to the Straw Hats, especially because Sabo's one of them too, like, and a lot of them are our friends, and Robin was part of it. But I think their front during the final war will probably be the God Knights in Marijoa. And I think Luffy's front will potentially be one of the other Yonko, like Blackbeard or something. And then it all comes to a head against Emu at the very end. Yeah. But it could go in a bunch of different directions, honestly. Yeah. I love the idea. Also, Mackerel added to his donation again and said, I think Emu could have the erase rates fruit and used it to erase Lulucia. He very well could have. Very well could have. Lizard 81288 said, if Emu is that old, do you think Emu is the mother of the 5 elders? Again, they said monarch. They didn't say king. They said monarch. So I'm still not opposed to the idea that Emu's a woman. Could be. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I like the idea, though, that maybe it could be the mother of the 5 elders. It's a cool idea. Parent of the 5 elders. Sith Lord donated and said, RIP my Don Quixote Emu theory from last week. Yeah, I still think it was a cool idea, so don't worry about it. We have Boomer 720 donating, saying, Marines and Seraphims, Revolutionary Army and Straw Hats declaring war at the end of Egghead to start for the prep of the final war and Elbaf. Whew, there's a lot of stuff to go over. There really is. Lizard donated. Oh no, that's the one I just read. So final donation. Here we go. Final donation of the stream. This one comes from Zindrome, who said, Father and the Holy Knights versus the son of the red-haired pirates during the final war. That would be unbelievably hype. Okay. I kind of like that. So you think Shanks and Dragon will team up to fight the Father and the Holy Knights? That would be kind of cool. That would be really cool. So you think Dragon and Shanks will fight against Figureland? I think that would be amazing. I would love to see that happen. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, well, I'm going to end it here. So thank you very much to everybody who came through to the stream. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to test this live redirect feature, and I'm going to send some love over to Randy. So I'm going to click the live redirect button here on YouTube, and hopefully it works. But if it doesn't work, doesn't matter. I'm going to put a link to Randy's chat and Randy's stream in the chat below. You guys go raid Randy. Go raid Randy. Send him that Mammoth Boys love. Tell him RogersBase sent you. Do what you got to do. We are going to end the stream. I think I'm going to go grab some water. I'm going to go eat breakfast really quick, and then I'm going to go live on Twitch and go watch the Xbox showcase and see if they announce anything cool. But once again, thank you to everybody who came through to the stream today. Greatly appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye, everybody.